Boom, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Deshaun, otherwise known in a couple different states as the Empty Battery, but for the low price of $3.99. Well, it's $100 for shipping and handling. You guys can call me Zabu. Welcome back to the podcast. It's Friday, so you already know what that means. June 4th, Friday podcast. Let's freaking go. Happy International Donut Day to any of you guys who celebrate that. I don't know, I said like it's a holiday. But yee. Before we get started real quick, I want to let everybody know that today's podcast, the theme, if you didn't see on my Instagram or my Snapchat, is hot takes or unpopular opinions, which is basically you give your opinion or stance on something that you feel like you're in the minority group who thinks that way, or that kind of goes against like the regular, not like a lot of, excuse me, my God, like a lot of people say like Beyonce is the greatest female artist of all time, but an unpopular opinion would be something like Rihanna's actually better because, you know, Beyonce's like so big and her fan base is so crazy that a lot of people would disagree with you. So that's kind of like an unpopular opinion type of thing. But I went on Instagram and of course I asked you guys what some of your guys' are, and then I have a bunch of mine at the end. So you can look down in the description box for the timestamps or the show notes. So if you want to listen to a specific unpopular opinion, you want to just scroll through them and find your favorite one, you're more than welcome to, or you can stay and listen to the whole podcast. It's really up to you guys. So let's get started with, we got the boy Devin coming with this first one, and he is saying that the Air Max 90s are the best Air Max model. Now, a lot of people really like 97s. They like 95s, Air Max Plus, the Air Max 1, things of that nature. And, oh, my window's open. Hold up. Alright, I'm back. I almost took off my screen door on my window and almost landed on my neighbor's roof, so that would have been fun to get. Anyway, back to the thing. So, the Air Max 90s are the best Air Max model, and I named a bunch of them for you guys. I think I agree with this opinion because Air Max 90s are such a clean, like, look and silhouette, obviously, like he said, and they have really dope color waves, so I have to go ahead and agree with Devin on this one. Let me know what you guys think about this one or any of the topics moving on. Excuse me, oh my God. But yeah, I have to agree with Devin that the Air Max 90s are the best Air Max model. I have one pair of them. It's like the grape color-wise, like the teal and the purple and the white. So I love them to death. I wish I had more colorways of them, but I'm kind of falling a little bit away from shoes. Well, my wallet is, so moving on. And then we got another one from the boy Devin. He one of his things is being respected by everyone is more important than being liked by everyone. Ooh, that's actually, I don't know if that's more of an unpopular words. I don't know if that's more of an unpopular opinion, but it's more of just like a good lesson or like a fact that a lot of people don't know is, yes, being respected by everyone is more important than being liked by everyone. So there's a huge difference, obviously. Being liked by everyone is like people will talk to you decently and will like want to hang out or do stuff with you and whatnot. But if they don't respect you, they can take advantage of you. They can think less of you and talk behind your back and do a lot of shady stuff. But if everybody respects you, like even people who don't like you are like, look, I don't like this guy, but I'm not going to mess with him. I'm not going to try to do anything to him or stuff like that. That's way more important than trying to be a friend to everybody. You want to be respected by everybody. And respect is earned, not given. So you obviously have to go about your own way of doing that. I don't think you would like go up to like the strongest kid in school and beat him up and you're like, bam, because then you're feared. But respecting everybody is super duper important, and then being respected back is important. So I agree with you, Devin. That's like a really good thing. The boy Eddie said Star Wars, and then he said cats. So he said he didn't really know what to ask. So I'll give an unpopular opinion about Star Wars and an unpopular opinion about cats that I have, I guess. Star Wars, what's an unpopular opinion, really? I would say R2-D2 is the GOAT. Like, he's the greatest Star Wars character of all time. He's not my personal favorite, but without him being in every movie, like, you know, we don't win. You know, the Rebels don't win. Or I'm more of a dark side lover, but he's Raw, so maybe that's an unpopular opinion. Maybe a lot of people will be like, oh, but Darth Vader's the best, or Luke, or Obi-Wan, and stuff like that. But R2-D2 is literally, he's the GOAT. You know, he made it through all of them, and he was like, yeah, I've been out here saving the day. What you know about me? And then for cats, An unpopular opinion about cats. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't even like cats that much. I like them a little bit, but I don't know. I can't think of an unpopular opinion about cats. So moving on, Devin hit me with a couple more of them, and he said, "Here we go. Eminem is overrated, and OutKast is the best hip hop duo group ever." So first and foremost, the OutKast thing, that was actually one of my hot takes that I had for myself towards the end of the video. So at least I can address it now, and then we'll get into the Eminem thing because I completely disagree with that. But we'll get into that in a second. OutKast is most definitely the best hip hop group. I think I've talked about them on the podcast and one of the episodes or something, but it's literally not even close. I would say they were a close competitor for me personally with Wu-Tang and NWA and stuff like that. But OutKast is just too good. Their first album, ATLiens, well, I don't know if that's like their first, but that's like the oldest one that I listened to. Came out in 96. Super dope album. Like, I tell everybody whenever we talk about OutKast, that album is ridiculously good. And that gets like, that's more of like rap hip hop based. And then their later their later albums like Staconia and was it the Speaker Box or something like that, or something like that. Those are more like still rap and hip hop, but a little bit more maybe poppy or something. I don't know how to describe, but you guys know what I'm talking about, like Miss Jackson, Hey Ya and stuff like that. Like those aren't like straight pure rap like bars and stuff like that, but their older album ATLiens is. So I agree with you then. And then Eminem being overrated. So if you don't know, a lot of people think that Eminem is one of the greatest of all time. He's one of my favorites, and he's easily a GOAT in my opinion. And he's saying that he's overrated. I'm gonna tell you why I don't think he's overrated at all. I've kind of talked about this with Devin before, and I think it's a lot of it's just because what you look for in rap is different from what I and a lot of other people usually look for in general. And Eminem is a GOAT because he can freestyle like super good, like ridiculously good. He's always been able to do that. I don't know how good he may be now, but I'm pretty sure he's pretty tight with freestyling. And that's a thing that not like that all the great rappers have to have, you know? So that's first and foremost. His storytelling is super duper good and interesting. You got songs like Cleaning Out My Closet, Mockingbird, and like freaking oh my god, I'm blanking on the name, Stan and stuff like that. Like storytelling is A1, and he has some good stories, and he's been through some traumatic things that he talks about in his music. So there's those. And then he has like fun songs like Without Me and The Real Slim Shady and My Name Is. And then he has like and then he does have some songs that I personally like, but I could see why a lot of people don't. Like We Made You and But Like That and stuff like that. When it's really more goofy and he overuses accents and stuff like that. And there's some cheesy songs in there, so there's levels to Eminem, but I think overall, like, he has plenty of good music, and he's just amazing. Like, he has crazy good bars, and his lyricism ability is crazy raw, and I don't know how, like, from an objective standpoint you can call him overrated. Like, you would have to go back, or I could even send you some songs by him that kind of show. I know you said that you went back and you listened, or that you listened to a couple of his songs and just couldn't get into him, but I mean, he's just too good to call him overrated. He's definitely a legend, one of the GOATs. And, it's kind of like him going against the grain of, what you usually look for in a rapper, I guess. He's kind of like the Steph Curry of rap. Oh, there's a hot take right there. Or he's like, he doesn't look like everybody else who's big in there. He doesn't like, he's very unique, but he's so good that, like, you have to respect him. But a lot of them don't respect him, and a lot of them do respect him. So it's kind of like a mixed bag. Like, a lot of the older rappers are like, he's not a greatest, like, he's not like up there in the top 10. And a lot of the newer ones and stuff like that, people who grew up on him are like, he's definitely top 10. So he has to be top 10 in my opinion. He just has to. There's no way he isn't. So I disagree with you, but I respect your opinion anyway. Devin also said, Bay Area is the most influential city/area for rap music. And then he gave an example, Digital Underground introduced Tupac. And I would have to say, I agree with that. It depends on where you're coming from because, oh, man, I don't know, like, ooh, just New York in general, man. There's just so many good things that come out of New York. I mean, we have some of the greatest rappers of all time. You got like Wu-Tang, you got Biggie, you got, I'm pretty sure Big Pun is from New York. And Jay-Z and just like all these rappers from New York that it's like it's kind of hard to give the Bay Area that, but I will agree that it is like, they're up there. They're like head to head. I would give New York and the East a little bit more of an edge, but no, like don't get it twisted. Like Bay Area stuff like that, we are always lit. I mean, like he said, Digital Underground introducing like Tupac and stuff like that, one of the greatest rappers of all time, easily. And it also gave us like, content gave us NWA, so like Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre. We got Kendrick Lamar. I mean, we have a lot of dudes from the Bay, and of course, we can't forget about the Bay, like the Bay's legendary freaking E40. We like if you're from the west side of the Bay, like you have to love E40. It's like illegal to not like E40. There's an E40 song for everyone. My personal favorite one is Hurricane, but it's you're very right. People don't highlight enough about the Bay Area, but I mean, I feel like it's also always been kind of known as like, like it's always been up there as one of the greats, like Snoop Dogg, all that. Like we know the West Side Bay Area and stuff like that is all good, but yeah, I could definitely see what you're talking about. And plus, there's a lot of Bay Area artists that I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know, and I'm sure there's a lot of great music from there. So I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And then he's coming in with another hot take that's gonna upset a couple people. He said J. Cole has been trending down since 2014 Forest Hills Drive. Woo! J. Cole fans like Banana Brandon, my girl Marianne, a couple other people gonna be mad at this one. And me personally, I'm really not, like I've said in the past, I'm not that into J. Cole. I think he's cool. I think he's like he's very talented. He's one of the greatest of this current generation. I personally like just looking at catalog, how many great songs, how he sounds on features and bars and stuff like that. I put Drake overall over J. Cole, but J. Cole is more closer to a better lyricist, kind of, I guess. But I mean, even then, it's kind of meh. I don't know. I prefer Drake over J. Cole, but trending down since 2014 Forest Hills Drive. So, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even know what albums came out. Excuse me. After that, let me go ahead and take a look because I don't want to be wrong in giving the timeline of which ones came out from there. So let's take a little look. So 2014. So was it freaking jeez, man, I can't even. Okay, so we had 2014 Forest Hills Drive. So after that was, let's see, what's that? Revenge of the Dreamers 2. But that's Dreamville and J. Cole, For Your Eyes Only. KOD, Revenge of the Dreamers 3, and the off season. Individually, I guess I can kind of see it. I think the off season was better than his last couple. Was like better than KOD and stuff like that. And I'm sorry to Marianne. I know she has a special place in her heart for KOD. But trending down, I don't. I guess I can kind of see that. I see that a lot of people think that like the J. Cole fan base is like, there's one side of it that's kind of like Beyonce fans, where, like everything he drops is like it's always fire and it's always like the best thing and stuff like that. And then there's also like, I like him, but he's just not the same since that album. And I don't know. I'm not as much of a J. Cole fan, so I can't really comment on that. But I will respect it anyway, and I guess I can kind of see what you're talking about. I think the off season is, if he if everybody comes to a consensus that he has been going downhill since then, I think the off season, either stopped the decline or started rising it up a little bit at least. I don't think it was like J. Cole is terrible and then the off season brought him back up. It was just kind of like, oh, KOD wasn't the greatest. I was like, oh, the off season, okay, so. Okay, I get that. I can see you with that. Devin again, bro. Devin's a legend, but we're almost done. He said the beat is the most important part of a song these days, and he gave examples like Young Thug, Uzi, Kanye. And I have thought this for the longest time. It's hip hop and rap in general started with the producer or the guy or a DJ or something would make a beat and the only rapper's job, being called the MC, so the master of ceremonies, was to just like make the beat like exemplify it. But the main focus was always the beat and the production behind it. That's kind of what Eric B and Rakim, or was it Rakim? I don't know. I always pronounce it different every time I say it. That's kind of what their main thing was at first, until everybody's like, wait, Eric B is like raw at rhyming. Wait, hold on, I kind of want to hear like focus more on the rhymes. But that's what MCing started as, is just being like the dude who's talking on the super dope, cutting up the turntables and stuff like that. And it's carried on since then. Like, there's a lot of songs where if the beat isn't fire, you're not gonna mess with the song. Like, you could have the craziest bars ever, but like, acapella is better than a bad beat. And a lot of people are fans of producers and the beats and the way it's all mixed together way more than they are the actual rapper. Yet they give the rapper and artist the credit more than the producer and stuff like that. And I totally see exactly what you're talking about. I agree. Like, you could have the most simple and basic bars and like words. Like, I'll use Lil Uzi Vert as an example. I haven't really heard any crazy raw like bars and like crazy lyrics and stuff like that from him. And he's not a lyricist anyway, but the way he sounds on the beats, and it's just like the overall vibe, it's easy for you to like memorize and like kind of like vibe along to, but it's all in the beat and the way like everything's put together. So like, I completely agree with him. It's only the legendary rappers who can get a super dope beat and can pack super dope lyrics and stuff like that on top of it. So that's kind of what made Tupac and Biggie some of the GOATs, I feel like. Is Tupac isn't the craziest lyricist. He couldn't even really freestyle that well. But so many of his beats are so fire, and his voice and the cadence and like the way he just kind of flows with it, fire. Snoop Dogg is a prime example of good beat, but just sounded like just smooth, like liquid honey, like syrup on hot pancakes, smoothness of just like sweet and smooth, where you're just like, he's just riding on the beat, you know, like he's just going crazy on it. So I completely agree with you, and I'm so glad you said that. I think the Kanye thing, I would say older Kanye is, he can definitely like, I mean, his beats are obviously like ridiculous, and he's a great producer in his own right, but he can still kind of match it. And then Young Thug, I completely agree. I'm not a big Young Thug fan, but the beats and like I said, the whole energy of the song is what like brings him up there. So you can have like a little whiny baby voice and stuff like that, but if you got the fire beat and your producer is lit and knows how to add the right, like get good samples and put different kinds of effects on your voice, it's gonna be a bumping track, and that's what everybody is using nowadays. So that's just how it is, bro. That's just how it is. So thank you for those hot takes and questions, Devin. I knew you wouldn't disappoint. You came with fire. I really appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much. Moving on, we got Banana Brandon. He's coming with a really funny one right off the bat. And he said the Thanos snap might not be a bad idea. Like, maybe not half of everybody, but like 10 to 15% of the population. And I mean, I think if we could select how much of the population gets snapped away, I guess kind of, but that's kind of like a whole like mixed bag, because people are like, oh, you can't be doing God's work, like da da da, and there's also like, but these people have families and stuff like that, or just because they've had a rough life doesn't mean they deserve to not have one, and things like that. There's a lot of different things to that, but I can kind of see what you're going for there, like. Well, man, let's say like 10 to 15% of like the worst people on the world all went away, like the pure rapists and the evil people and like, racists and stuff like that. What if they all just kind of snapped and disappeared? The world would be a better place. So I can kind of see what you're going for. I agree with that to a certain extent. I know we can all think of somebody that we would snap away. So I like that one, Brandon. That was very creative. We talked about that yesterday while eating some very delicious food. And he also said, most retros as silhouettes. So a silhouette's the shape and just the build of the shoe, not the color waves, just the build, aren't that good. Only hype because it's Jordan. Woo! Okay. So I am going to have to... I'm going to have to disagree, because but I like Brandon. I know you're not really that into retros anyway. Like, yeah, I know you're not really that into retros and stuff like that. But I don't know. I disagree with that. I feel like being from Michael Jordan immortalized them, like made them like what they are today, reselling like crazy, and they're never gonna go out of style and whatnot. But excuse me, excuse me, my lord. I'm sorry. I can't agree. I can agree with some of them. Like retro ones, they're the classic. The silhouette is too good. It would be popular without Jordan. Jordan 2s, that would be a dad shoe. Jordan 3s, just the silhouette, would probably be a dad shoe. Not that many people would rock those. Retro 4s, I think if like when Retro 4s came out, if they weren't attached to Jordan, they were just some random shoe. I feel like that would they would be seen as designer shoes that we see today. You know, like they'd be so different. You'd be like, what the heck? I feel like they would be like 90s designer type shoes. Retro 5s. No, I mean, I guess kind of. I kind of see what you're going for. Retro 6. I don't know. I feel like they still do okay, but probably definitely not as hyped. The 7s definitely would not be as hyped. The 8s would. I think they still do okay. I love the retro 8s. I'm sorry. 9s would not be. 10s or nobody really likes the 10s. 11s, like I don't care. 11s will always be good. Just it's oh my god, they would always like just it's too clean. The 12s are ridiculous and the 13s are my personal favorite. So, of course I'm going to say that they're going to survive, but realistically probably not. I don't know. I think the retros would survive on their own, but they definitely wouldn't be as hype. So I semi agree with you that some of the silhouettes are going to be successful and dope no matter what. But, some of the other ones I could kind of see what you're going for. But you could also kind of say that about any shoe. Like, I feel like if I saw, like, the J. Cole shoes or, like, anything like that, if they were just some random shoes, I'd be like, nah. But, since they're attached to the artist, you're like, okay, you feel me? Or even Kyrie's. Like, let's say they weren't a Kyrie shoe and his super dope colorways never were on them, then they would probably just be kind of looked at as like average Nike basketball shoes. So I kind of see what you're going for. I agree with you a little bit. Then the boy Christian, who I haven't talked to you in a hot minute. How you doing, by the way? Love you, dude. Hope you're doing good. Hope everything's going fine with you. We need to hop on some Borderlands or something soon. He just said Deshaun is thick. I don't agree with me being thick in terms of like my butt. But a lot of just my friends and people like that just say that anyway. So, especially Marianne, my freaking girlfriend, is always making fun of me for it. So, I mean, it's not an unpopular opinion. A lot of people always freaking say that, but I really don't think so. But we're not even gonna get into that whole conversation. I think I'm thick in the stomach area, but it's whatever. And then finally, the last unpopular opinion / hot take that isn't one that I just came up with. From the bruv, Marissa. First of all, hi bruv, love you, hope you're doing good. Super proud of you again for doing the dance video and stuff like that. Keep being great and amazing. I'm glad you get some time off of work. Continue being great in yourself. She says, booties are better than boobies. I said what I said. Now this is an interesting topic amongst all kinds of walks of life. It doesn't matter where you come from. This is always the most debated topic. And I would say that stance that your posterior, your rear end, your junk in the trunk, so to speak, is better than what you got up top on your chest area. I would say that stance is the more popular opinion than like the chest area being better. I think like I agree with you, and so many people agree with you, but yeah, I think that is the popular opinion, but I definitely agree with you. I mean, I don't even have to make a defense for it. It's a preference at the end of the day. But once you've seen like a good one of one and a good one of the other, match one, we all know that. We all in this together. You feel me? So wonderful, wonderful questions and unpopular opinions, hot takes, things of that nature. Thank you guys so much for asking those questions. Now let's get into what I have down. So we're gonna start off in the music area. I have 3 main topics: music, video games, and then sports. So we'll start off with music. So one of mine is Big Pun is the greatest lyricist of all time. And I said what I said. I'm saying Big Pun is a better lyricist than Biggie, the Notorious B.I.G., who is, well, okay, I guess I could kind of see, like, it's more of a preference thing that I think Big Pun's the best, but you can't, I would never get mad at somebody for saying Biggie's the best. Like, if it's not Pun, it is Biggie. But to me, Pun is the greatest. And, like, bro, I could literally just pull up some lyrics from the song The Dream Shatterer by him. I don't know why I can't say Shatterer. Shatterer. I don't know why I can't say that correctly. But here, let me pull up some lyrics and, like, give you guys a little bit of a taste what I'm talking about. He said some stuff like, where is it? Jeez. He said, the first murder's the worst. Now I thirst further for reverse birth. Every verse hurts. Every curse word's already more offending than Eddie Murph's worst. I thirst for blood like a vampire. Any man claiming his game is tighter is a gosh darn, well, he said God, whatever, liar. Bro, just like, what? I'm telling you guys, listen to the song Dream Shatterer by Big Pun. And, bro, like, you just have to respect it, bro. Big Pun, or the Big Punisher, or whatever, is the greatest lyricism of all time, in my opinion. I'm sorry, it is. He's too freaking, he's too good. He's super underrated and slept on. He is basically, and he's Latino, too, so for all you guys who are Hispanic and stuff like that, that is the guy who is repping up for you guys in the hip-hop world. Like, he is the one who is, like, he's Latino, but, like, he's basically black, like, you got, like, if you're Hispanic and you don't know who Big Pun is or whatever, you need to know, because that is, like, literally, that is your dude right there. That is your guy. Like, Canada has Drake, African Americans or black people, we have most of the rap game. We have rap as a whole. White people got Eminem and stuff like that. Y'all got Big Pun. That's y'all dude. Go check him out. But yeah, he's the greatest lyricist of all time. I already said that OutKast is the best rap group ever. Ever. It's not close with anybody else. I don't care. I also have Kendrick is the GOAT, the undisputed GOAT of rap, and he isn't even done yet. So check this out, right? Kendrick Lamar. K-Dot, the man himself. Kendrick is fire on every feature he's on. We already know that. I've already gone in depth about why he's the GOAT, like, about his albums in one of my other podcasts. I think when I was talking about J. Cole and stuff like that, or maybe it was some other one. But, bro, Kendrick Lamar is easily the GOAT. He's not even done yet. And when I used to have, like, Tupac, Biggie at, like, number 1 and 2 and stuff like that. But getting into Kendrick Lamar, he's the best because he is the greatest mix of both of them I've heard, and just in general. Excuse me. So Tupac, like I said earlier, is more about, like, just the dope beats and the way he sounds on the track. Kendrick's got stupidly dope beats, and he sounds fire on the track. So, he's got that part of Tupac. Maybe not in the same way, but he's definitely up there like that. Biggie is, like, dope bars, lyrics that are just tight and just like, oh my god, man, it's just spitting these crazy, like, how did you even think of that rhyme scheme and stuff like that? Kendrick's got that on lock, and I feel like he's really underrated because of that. Because, bro, like, a lot of his songs, like, he can actually, like, he'll rap, like, pretty quickly, like, not like Logic or Eminem when they start doing this fast rap and crap like that. Ooh, what? No, I'm just kidding. It sounded like I was rapping for a second. But he has that aspect of him. He can definitely do it. He's raw. He can freestyle. His overall, like, production value of his albums is overall better than what Biggie and Pac, and then it's also because, like, more time period type of stuff. Like, obviously, he learned from those legends and those greats, and learned from, like, Dr. Dre and all of them to produce these really good albums. I mean, I'm not saying, like, he's a producer or whatever, but he's raw. He got some crazy award. What the freaking heck was the name of the award? It was like some major big award for one of his albums, and he's just ridiculously good. So to me, Kendrick is the GOAT. He can make fire albums as, like, whole projects, and he makes plenty good singles. And, like, a lot of his songs, like, will be cool to listen to. You just kind of rap, but, like, there's, like, an underlying meaning in them. Like, what is it? Freaking Swimming Pools, right? I'm pretty sure it's the name of the song. If it's not, and it's close enough. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, the pour up, drank, sit down, drink. Like a lot of people when they heard that, or at least when I first heard that song when I was younger, I was like, okay, it's just a song about like drinking, like popping bottles, chilling, just getting stupid. But if you listen to it hard and like read the lyrics, it's mainly a song about like, um, I don't really. It's like like a guy who doesn't really drink or whatever get like too stupid like that. He kind of has like that little voice, like the devil on his shoulder, telling him like, "Oh, come on, bro! Like you need to just drink. Pour up, drink, sit down, drink." That's like the little like devil on his shoulder and like the conscience part and all that. Like there's an underlying meaning, but you can just enjoy it on the surface, and it's still amazing. So he's the best. Um, I also have, and this is maybe it's not unpopular, but I just haven't heard anybody talk about them in a really long time. Daft Punk. First of all, if you know who Daft Punk is, I love you. I love you. Daft Punk is my everything. Daft Punk is better than people like Marshmello, Dead Mouse. There's my phone alarm. I guess my phone didn't agree with me. My bad. I had to make sure I was awake for this podcast. And I was awake way before it. Better than people like Marshmello, Dead Mouse, Skrillex, and any other type of artist like them. Daft Punk is ridiculously talented. I love them so much. I love plenty of their music. But at the same time, I also understand why a lot of people don't like them. It can be a little bit of an acquired taste with some of the songs, but they're just freaking classic, bro. They're like the classic DJ type of stuff. Not like old school hip hop rap like people like Dre and Premier and Just Blaze and stuff like that. But, they're like little kind of electronic type of music. They're the goats. And I don't really like Marshmello that much. I don't think he's that raw. I used to like Dead Mouse, but I don't like a couple of his songs. I've never really been that into Skrillex, but he was super popular back in the day. And any other kind of like DJ like that, bro, Daft Punk is the greatest. The greatest. And if you don't like their songs individually, or you do, and you like really want to know how good they are, you can on the game DJ Hero 1, which if any of you know what that is, oh my god, you know the magic of DJ Hero 1 and 2. But DJ Hero 1, they had their own like little playlist that they made of their songs mixing it with other ones. Go on YouTube, you can find all the songs from that game on there. Listen to all the Daft Punk mixes, and they made them themselves, and it's really good stuff, bro. It's really ridiculously good music, so go check it out if you're into that type of music. And then my last music hot take is Black Eyed Peas are one of the best music groups ever. Now, I guess it's maybe not as unpopular if you're like from my generation, like if you were born, I would say from like 97 to like 2002 maybe, 2003ish. You know about the Black Eyed Peas and how great they are. And I really feel like they're one of the best music groups ever because their music is so unique and different that it's fire. I won't say that they're like catalog list is like endless. It's big, but it's not like humongous. But I think they're one of the greatest music groups ever in general, and I feel like they're kind of forgotten ever since Fergie ruined her career essentially at the All-Star game, and no one wants to hear her sing anymore. But man, freaking will.i.am and Fergie, and then the other two guys are dope. So moving on to the video game section. It's been a long podcast, y'all. We got plenty more stuff to go through. I only have two of them, but these are probably the hottest takes I have. And it's weird because some people agree with me, but the majority of people in the world don't. First one, Call of Duty Ghost and Advanced Warfare have some of the most fun and best multiplayers in the entire series, only behind a couple of the classics. Let's go into Call of Duty Ghost first. Now, a lot of people hated Call of Duty Ghost when it came out. I freaking loved Ghost. Like, I loved Ghost. Were there irritating things? Of course. Every Call of Duty is going to have some irritating things about them. None of them are going to come out super balanced or super, like, low-key or whatever. I think maybe the most balanced Call of Duty at launch in terms of, like, gun balancing and stuff like that and maps was probably Black Ops 4, but a lot of it was just, like, recycled maps and, like, the time to kill was higher. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but moving on. Or actually, the most balanced one of all time is easily Black Ops 2, but Call of Duty Ghosts was way too much fun. I loved the guns in that game were all really fun. Like, all of them were pretty good for the most part that I can remember. The maps were a little bad, but they did end up making better maps with DLCs and stuff like that and a lot of cool ideas, and there was a lot of fun. The hit detection, like, was really on fire, and in the pro scene, like back when a lot of people would watch Call of Duty like competitively and stuff like that. Ghost was one of the most fun games to watch. There's so many good memories of like competitive Call of Duty on Ghost. So Ghost is like goated in my opinion. The multiplayer is way too good. The campaign is complete garbage, and the what? Oh my god, what's it called? Infected? Or no? What the heck is it? Freaking the alien mode. Oh my god, this is gonna kill me. If I remember it later, I'll say it randomly. But freaking Extinction. Wait, no, is it? I don't know. Whatever. The alien game mode was so good. It was really good. And Advanced Warfare was a ridiculous amount of fun. It was the first Call of Duty that started getting them all money hungry and grubby with supply drops and all that. And that aspect is actually it's kind of one of my favorite things because like I loved getting different variants of guns and like comparing variants and seeing them in the game and stuff like that. But you could be good even without variants, and eventually you're gonna get one of the best ones, like no doubt. And the worse you are at the game, you get better ones. So, if you're struggling, then you only struggle for a little bit. But Advanced Warfare, I love that game way too freaking much, bro. I was way too good at it. All the DLC guns I loved. Well, okay, for the most part, and I had almost all the good variants, but I could never get the Insanity, and I'm really mad about that. But the maps, all the guns, the hit detection on that game, everything about it was just fire. I liked the cosmetics, like getting the cool exos and trying to match the whole outfit. Like the supply drop system was fun back then. It's really like scammy and not consumer friendly, but it was fun for me personally. It just was. I don't know. Like there's nothing like opening up a supply drop and you get a weapon variant you've been looking for so much that you're like, finally, I freaking got this thing. There's nothing like it, bro. There's really just nothing like it. So that's that one. I would say their multiplayer is only behind Black Ops 2. I would say both. I would say Advanced Warfare has a better multiplayer overall than Black Ops 1 to an extent, because Black Ops 1 had like, probably not. I guess no, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't go that far, but Black Ops 1 was really cool, but there were so many guns that were like not used. Like it was really only the Galil, the Commando, the AK-74U, the FAMAS, which oh my god, the frickin' FAMAS, the L96. And then after that, you were just kind of like, I guess a little bit of the MP5K. After that, you were just kind of using guns just because you wanted something different. But it was really cool. It was a good game. But yeah, Black Ops 2 is obviously the GOAT. I was gonna put that Black Ops 2 as the greatest COD game of all time, but I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I feel like we all kind of know that. We know that, right? I'm playing. And then I also, one of my hot takes is Crash Team Racing. So the Crash racing game that what is it? Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, because Crash Team Racing, or I'm gonna call it CTR, was a game that came out in the 90s as a racing game after like Crash was like really popping off and whatnot. And then Nitro Fueled is the most recent one where they like remastered the graphics and the tracks. That game is better than, is the only kart racer better than any Mario Kart until the Crash Team Racing got microtransactions in it. And let me explain to you why. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, greatest kart racer all time, or this Mario Kart game. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is better. Better. I played CTR before I played Mario Kart, and now after being stupidly addicted to Mario Kart, I still think Crash Team Racing is better. I'll tell you guys why. First and foremost, it's basically Mario 8 Deluxe's kind of idea of like taking the best racer game in that franchise, because they had a couple other Crash racing games, but they were terrible. Taking the best racer, remastering the tracks, so all the tracks in there from like all the old games and stuff like that, and then they also made brand new ones for that game. So you have that aspect of, if you played the game in the 90s, you have plenty of fan service now. And all the tracks are good. Like, they have really good tracks, and they look pretty, and they're fun to play with. The items are a little lacking, I'll say, just a little bit, but for the most part, they're pretty fine. But the one thing that puts it over the top for me that Mario Kart doesn't have is just more content. Like, Crash Team Racing has a single-player adventure mode, which obviously, you do race, but there's different types of races, like regular racing and time trials, where you have to hit certain crates that stop the clock so you can beat the par time. There's doing the race and having to find the letters GEM. I'm pretty sure it's GEM for gem, and you have to find the letters there in a random spot in the map, but they're always in the same spot every time you do the race. You just have to find it and win. That's really cool. There's relic hunting and stuff like that, where you just have to or that's the time one. There's just a lot of game modes in there. There's battle like Mario Kart has, so that it has everything Mario Kart has in terms of race modes, but more. And when you have like a more of a focused single player aspect, it's a lot better than just playing Grand Prix and stuff like that. And you can do that. You can play like Grand Prix and all that, and it's still 4-player split screen. So it's super duper dope. There's also like a ridiculous amount more cosmetics. Like they have this thing called the pit stop shop, which is basically like when you do the races, you earn Wumpa fruit, which are basically like the coins in Mario Kart. But you earn them and you spend them on stuff in the store. And like the reason I said that it was better until they added microtransactions is when the game first released, it didn't have microtransactions at all, and you would earn Wumpa fruit pretty decently. Like you couldn't just like do 2 races and buy like a bunch of characters, but you earned them at a pretty good rate, and especially playing online, you earn a lot. And it's kind of weird because you don't get more if you get first or less if you get like a different position. You just kind of have to finish the race, but. I don't know, bro. There's just something about like saving up like some in-game currency and then finally seeing the character that you want in the shop, because the shop refreshes. You can't just automatically pick who you want to buy. You have to hopefully get that person in the shop, and that kind of sucks. But buying the character, you're like, yes, finally. And then they have like 15 different like skins for themselves, like different outfits. There's a ridiculous amount of people in that game. Characters from the Crash universe and all the bosses, and even bosses from like the Game Boy games and like the other Kart games and stuff like that. And the most unique thing about it is it's actually harder than Mario Kart because different racers have different stats. So you have like a speed character, you have acceleration characters, balance, drifting, and you can change, like you can use one person, like if you really like the way Dingo Dial looks, which is a character in the game, but he's a speed character and you were looking for a drift one, you could just make him a drifting Dingo Dial, just so you could enjoy him. You could still play as him, but it's so it has that kind of style of stats that Mario Kart has, but it also has this mechanic where when you drift, you get like a drift meter that fills up, and you have to press a certain button while you're drifting that gives you a boost based on when you get it right, and you basically have to drift all the time, so you have to master it. So it's more of a challenging kart racer with more content, and it's just better in my opinion. I really wholeheartedly believe that. Even if you're not into Crash, I would consider getting into it, or at least trying that game out. Oh my goodness, it's so freaking good. Holy crap, I'm running out of time. This is already 45 minutes. Wow. I'm gonna have to leave soon, so I'm gonna kind of run through these just a little fast. Let's run through just a little fast. Sports one, all about basketball. First and foremost, losing to the Suns doesn't affect LeBron's legacy. He's still a legend and a GOAT in his own respective way. I don't feel like losing to the Suns was like a big knock on things like, oh my god, first time he's been eliminated in round 1. I mean, yeah, and you're 18 with a super injured team and you're injured yourself, and I'm glad he lost after he did the whole Jay Crowder you stink thing and then flopped and whatnot. I'm glad he lost. But I don't think it affects his legacy. He's still a legend, and he still is most definitely, objectively, one of the GOATs. He's not my favorite, but he's still a GOAT. I mean, the amount of hate he's getting after this is, like, it's a little ridiculous, really. Because I'm like, I mean, you can have your own reasons for, like, not liking him or whatever, and trust me, I'm a Warriors fan, so there are a lot of times where I couldn't stand him. But especially after last season, he earned a lot of my respect, even though a lot of people are like, oh, that's an easy championship. To anybody hating on him in general, the season Kobe passed, LeBron delivered a championship to the Lakers. Like, okay, he didn't have the best competition or whatever, but like he still brought LA a chip after Kobe passing. Like y'all, like the Lakers whole organization, they needed that. They needed that, and I needed to see it myself because I was like, dang, bro, Kobe passing away affected everybody. And so we needed the Lakers to have a championship, and I'm glad LeBron brought one to that city so they could celebrate something, and it was just amazing, But I mean, the Suns are actually a really good team. I freaking love Devin Booker. I love Devin Booker. I like Chris Paul a lot. I like DeAndre Ayton and stuff like that. A couple of their other guys on there. So it's not surprising at all. LeBron is. I said this a long time ago to I think Brandon and Devin or someone that like this season, LeBron's age is gonna catch up to him. Like he's gonna get injured. He's not gonna be able to do what he used to do in Cleveland, dropping these 50-point triple doubles in finals and stuff like that. He can't do that anymore. That's not him. He's too freaking old, bro. Eventually, your body is not invincible, and he is the longest player who or the player who can play the longest at his level. But the time is very minimum. Like he can still affect winning in a big way, and he could still be the captain of a team, but he's not that same LeBron, and I didn't expect him to even win. I didn't expect him to win this matchup at all. So, he's still a GOAT in his own way. He's not better than Jordan. I don't care. And he's not I would still take Kobe over him, but LeBron is his own type of player. He's not trying to be like a Kobe or a Jordan. He's a different his style of play is different. So, whatever. We all know that. And kind of staying on that theme that time is running out for these players, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, LeBron, like I said, Anthony Davis, and Demarcus Cousins, and I'm probably forgetting a couple more, are now not those same dudes we used to love growing. Like they're not as good as we used to love them growing up. Anthony Davis is the youngest out of the bunch, but look, Kawhi Leonard is not that same Kawhi. He just isn't. He's not that same dude. He needs to be on a team like he had in the Spurs to really excel. He cannot be the captain. He got lucky with the Raptors. Okay, no, playoffs, he played great. He got lucky against the Warriors in the finals that we were all so stupidly injured. So, he got lucky there. He's not the same dude. Paul George is not that guy. He's not that guy. He's not Pacers Paul George where he was the clear captain going toe-to-toe with LeBron. LeBron just had a better team. That's why he beat him. No, he's not that dude. He hasn't been that dude since he left and went to OKC. Hasn't been the same guy. He had one season where he was playing MVP style, but no, man, heck no. It's over, and Demarcus Cousins can't stop getting injured and is just forgotten. We don't need Demarcus Cousins anymore. And Anthony Davis is just kind of getting a little less effective and stuff like that. He can't lead a team like he used to when he was on the Pelicans, when he would be the only guy really out there. And even then, it was yeah, you're leading the team, but yeah. So I don't know. I really like Anthony Davis still, but they're just not those guys anymore, bro. Curry still has it. He's still young enough to still have a couple good years. I think Klay's going to come back super strong. I'm probably forgetting maybe some of the older, kind of older legends, but not that I can think of off the top. They're not those dudes anymore, bro. The ship has sailed for them. They're on a decline now. They're no longer ascending or at the top, bro. They're just not. Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, and Devin Booker are some of the only young players who have the Mamba mentality. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. That's just kind of an observation. I freaking love Doncic, Tatum, and Devin Booker. They are easily some of the best players in today's league. And they're really Tatum obviously wasn't able to make freaking playoffs, but when you're playing against KD, Harden, and Kyrie, it's how the heck do you expect him to win that? But no, bro, Tatum's always been raw. Luka, please, dude, knock out the Clippers, bro. I swear. Please do it. He's the hero we need right now to knock them out. And he's a little whiny and floppy, but whatever. Jason Tatum, when Kyrie was on the Celtics and Kyrie went down, and then Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, and them were just going raw. That dunk on LeBron when Tatum was young, dude, bro, Jason Tatum's ridiculously raw. Ridiculous. And Devin Booker, we all know, 70-point game. Finally in the playoffs, and it's just going crazy. Did crazy good in the bubble. Didn't lose a single game last season. Bro, they have the Mamba mentality. They have it. They all, I'm pretty sure Tatum and Devin Booker have worked with Kobe, have, worked out with him and stuff like that. So, it doesn't surprise me they're the way they are. But Luka is also kind of like Kobe, where Kobe isn't from America, so to speak. He played in other countries and stuff like that. And, Luka was... been balling against adults since he was 15 or something crazy. So he's crazy. He's crazy. They're Kobe-esque, and they are going to be the young legends in generations. I'm not convinced with Trae Young. I'm not convinced with Julius Randle. I'm off the Lonzo hype train. I think LaMelo maybe, but they're not on that same level that these guys are, in my opinion. So I don't know. That's just how I feel. And then finally, this is an unpopular opinion. for everyone except for my friends and people who live here. When healthy, the Warriors are the best team in the NBA today. And that includes the Nets. We are better than the Bucks. We are better than the who are some of the other good teams? We're definitely better than the Jazz. Better than the Clippers. We're better than the Mavericks. We're better than every other team. The closest competitors being the Nets because they're just so OP. But when we're healthy, when we have Steph, Clay, we have Wiggins, who, if we pull off a deal getting Kawhi Leonard, then I'll take back what I said about Kawhi earlier. If we somehow get Kawhi, or even if we keep Wiggins, Draymond is still very effective in his role. Wiseman is only going to get better. We have Pascal and stuff like that. We're not the same. We're not going to be as good as ourselves, but we're definitely the top dogs. Are you kidding me? If we stay healthy the whole season, it's a chip. No cap. It's a chip. It's a chip. I'm sorry. I don't care who your favorite team is. It's a chip. That's how it is. You saw how Steph played. You've seen how Clay can play. You seen Draymond. You seen Wiseman. You know what time it is. Jordan Poole. Damian Lee. What's up? We ready. Pop, 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 pop. Feel me? We ready for him. So, you guys, that is the podcast. I hope you enjoyed this near an hour-long podcast of unpopular opinions and hot takes. This, to me, was the greatest podcast we've done. I had a ball doing this for you guys. This was amazing. So if you watched somehow this entire thing, I freaking love you. I love you even if you watched a second. But I especially love you if, you did that. You came and you saw that. I will see you guys tomorrow or on both days on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, for some random videos, and I got some dope ones planned out for you guys. But until then, be amazing, stay beautiful. I love you guys. Freaking love you. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Blah.